That's exactly why I was just asking people to say something if they were in the chat room. I'm Kevin Williams. Thank you, Kim. I'm your Kevinly Father. This is the live stream, and we're going to take a look at something Trump said yesterday. In fact, a lot of things Trump said yesterday. He met with the governors of North Dakota. There's too many Dakotas. Too many states, and Colorado, and I'm sure told some doozies. We'll take a look at what he said along the way. I can see he's got paperwork right in front of him, and I'm betting it's the testing paperwork. Audio much? Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I had to reboot my system after the last live stream, and when I did that, it looks like it shut all the audio down. So, very important about the audio, guys. As I start playing this, his volume may be way too low or way too loud. Whatever it is, let me know and I'll make adjustments. Hi, AJ. How you doing? Good to see you. Sometimes the audio between, this is on YouTube, sometimes C-SPAN's very low, YouTube can be very loud. So as you're watching, if it is too loud, if I'm too loud, we'll just turn it down. If they're too loud or they're too soft, which is more often the case, I can't hear necessarily the same volume you guys do, so let me know. All right, we'll get going here in just a second now that I know you guys are in here. Let me just do this. I hate it when the top of my head is cut off. There we go. We're just going to sit me behind the table. And that is perfect. There we go. This is much better. So, no, that's not going to work. Hold on. Okay, let's do this. And what I was trying to do is that. Okay, yeah, no, okay, good. I think we're good to go. Problem here, Kev. We can hear you. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. You know, you can watch this on your own, Airbus. Hi, Cam. How you doing? Hey, Ruth Ann. Okay, here we go. All this. Screw West Dakota. I'm so tired of West Dakota. What's the other one we have? Oh, we have a Virginia and then West Virginia. And when it comes right down to it, West Virginia is kind of a problem state. You know, the presidents always say, oh, the great state of. It rhymes. Come on, West Virginia. You weren't even trying. There are two cities in L.A. There's a Claremont. And then they wanted to build a city right next to it. And they said, we want to be Claremont. And no, you can't. We're Claremont. Okay, we're going to be Montclair. This is absolutely true. If you go look at the map of L.A., Montclair and Claremont, we love it. Hey, Rich. Rich is a sponsor of our Billy Joel podcast just because he said, I like Billy Joel. Podcast, is that what this is? Live stream? All right, let's get going with this, guys. This could take like 8 hours. It's let's see, it's about 32 minutes long, so we will be done by 3 a.m. Let's get this going.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be with the governor of Colorado and the governor of North Dakota, two governors that are working very hard, harder than they thought they'd have to work. We also have two very distinguished senators that you know very much, Senator Gardner, who you know, and John, say hello. Say hello to the fake news.
Thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate the invitation, and of course, appreciate all the support you're giving us and the leadership of our governors.
Look at all that social distancing. Not one of them with a mask.
We're here for to do that and to talk about. We just came out with a new listing on testing.
The reporters are
10 million tests.
Wait, is that Jared lurking against the door? Is he wearing a mask?
Everybody, 10 million. We said it all.
Hold on. We'll talk about this in a second.
But
a
new listing on testing. We just cracked 10 million.
Is that Jared
tests,
there?
Which is here. I think you'd like to show that to everybody. 10 million. We set an all-time record by far. If you look down here.
All-time record for testing for the COVID virus. What does that even... Yes, every day is going to be a new... We didn't have it.
These are other countries that have not done anywhere near what we're doing.
Okay, that's the Our World in Data map, and he likes to hold it, instead of landscape, he holds a profile, and you can see a whole bunch of countries are missing from that map. I know you guys probably can't see it very well. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you. Yeah, oh, that's not going to be very clear for you. Let me see if I can get a better shot. Hold on. Go back.
Record by far. If you look down here, these are other countries that have not done.
Okay, so you should be able to see that fairly well. You can see there's some other countries down here. This is what he's talking about. And then look at the United States up here. Now, someone printed this out and gave it to him, okay, because they want to give the president good news. That way they don't get canned. Here's the problem. A whole bunch of countries have been eliminated from that chart. two things. I'll show you what the chart actually looks like in real life. Let's go to this tab right here. This is the chart. Okay, I'm going to pull it up for you so you can see it full. And I apologize to my regulars. You've seen this before. This is the chart. You've got United States up here, and then we go down. That's Russia, Germany, etc., etc. Russia has tested more than half as many as us, and he keeps saying that if you can double the next nearest country. Not true. Russia's missing from the map that they're using, or from the graph. Germany's missing from the graph, obviously. Italy's missing from the graph. United Kingdom missing from the graph. India missing from the graph. So they cherry-picked a few countries down in this range here, and they print it out and give it to the president. So I don't know who exactly to blame for that. I think there's blame all the way around because he keeps getting handed charts that are different. Every time he pulls it out and shows everybody, you know, because that's what you do in order to prove yourself. You can see all the facts on my page right there. This proves the president is wrong. And then you put it away. And then, I mean, that's a fact. They should laminate it, Lizzie. Hey, Barbara. Let's go back to him. But every time he makes up some needless statistic, yes, we've probably tested more than any other country, although China does not report. And it is entirely likely that China has tested far more than 10 million. They're going to retest everybody in Wuhan, and that's 11 to 13 million people. So they've likely tested at least 13 million people in China. But they don't release their statistics. Do we trust them? No, of course not. It's China. Let's go back. He lies needlessly on a regular basis. Here we go.
And anywhere near what we're doing. We're double. If you add them up and double them, we've done more tests. But I can't get to print that on.
So it's gotten even worse. He used to say we're double the next country, which because they've eliminated Russia from the sheet and Germany on this sheet and Italy and United Kingdom. And now he's saying if you add up all the other countries, they've doubled it. Well, I happen to have added up all the other countries. This was May 9th, 21 million. So we've done 10. That's 21.3 million, and 10 is double that in his head, which very soon, in the next couple of days, will be close to zero. That's Trump math for you. You've heard of Trump time. That's Trump math.
Unfortunately, they just don't want to print it. But I want to thank the governors for being here very much.
And the press will never print it because it's complete bullshit.
We appreciate it. We're going to have some good, fruitful talks about going even to the next step. And I know you're trying to open up, and I know you're opening up. You're sort of more than trying. You're opening up, and you're both doing an excellent job. And it's an honor to have you at the White House very much. And these two gentlemen have done a fantastic job. And David, you know, from Interior, and David's very much involved with the estates. And how are they doing, David? What do you think?
Fantastic.
I think so. They're doing
everything is
really
awesome. Everything is cool when you're a part of a
Space
team.
Force, and a lot of the states are interested in Space Force, and we're talking to some of them. And I know that Colorado is very interested in it, and so we'll be talking to you about that too. Okay, we might mention that today a little bit during our meeting. So thank you all very much. Thank you.
Everybody's talking about Space Force.
And school principals around the country in terms of their plans to reopen school and colleges in the fall.
Oh, I think they should open the schools, absolutely. I think they should. And it's had very little impact on young people. And I think that if you're an instructor...
I checked it out on the CDC earlier this morning. 21,000 young people, 21,000 kids have caught COVID. 147 of them in the hospital. At least 3 have died. The statistics are old. And then we know about the 85 in New York who ended up with Kawasaki syndrome or something very similar to it after having supposedly recovered from COVID. So it's killed at least 6 children so far. And again, 22,000 of them have caught it at school or elsewhere. I can't say just at school. What I'm saying is 22,000 kids in this country have had it, at least that. And again, we're not testing enough people. Let's just say 22,000. 22,000 kids, hey everybody, get back to school so that you can spread it to everybody else. The kids are going back to school in Trump's head, but Paul Manafort has to get out of prison. Think about that.
If you're a teacher, a professor, and you're over a certain age, like let's say 65, or maybe even if you want to be conservative, 60. Perhaps you want to stay out for a little while longer, but I think you should.
I don't know about you guys, but growing up, I had a lot of teachers like 60 and older. Again, I was 7, so they were probably in their late 20s. I have no idea. And then thinking about like going and meeting them again, it's like, oh, Mrs. Brown, and she's 98 years old.
Should absolutely open the schools. Our country's got to get back, and it's got to get back as soon as possible.
Because I'm still 12. Pull my finger.
Coming back if the schools are closed, and it's had very unusual situation. It's had very little impact on young people, and I would strongly say they should open.
Some are dead.
It's the governor's choice, but their state is not open if the schools aren't open. So again, it's had very little impact on young people.
So states aren't open if the schools aren't open. So during the summer, states are closed.
And I think they should open their schools.
Mr. President, Senator Grimes introduced a bill to
yeah, AJ, universities, colleges, there's no reason they should be open.
If it goes to the House and it comes to your desk, do you support that bill?
Well, I respect Lindsey Graham, and I'll certainly look at it. The bill to sanction China, so I'll certainly take a look at it. I have not seen it yet.
Do you want to comment on the release of those names related to?
Well, the unmasking is a massive. It's a massive thing. It's. I just got a list. It's. Who can believe a thing like this? And I watched Biden yesterday on Good Morning America being interviewed by one of your colleagues, George Stephanopoulos.
George
And he said he knew
Sniffleupagus.
nothing about anything. He has no idea. He knows nothing about anything. Nothing at all. And then it gets released today that he was a big unmasker.
No, that's
So how
not
do you
what
know
was
nothing
released.
if you're one of the unmaskers?
That's okay. So we can cover unmasking because the right wing is going nuts right now, and what was released absolutely does not show that Biden was an unmasker at all. But as usual, it's easily confused, and the right wing is easily confused. So if you guys are interested in me covering that, I will. Otherwise, we'll get on. So if you guys want to hear about unmasking, just say unmasking, and I'll hit it.
It's one of the very big stories, and I suspect you'll have, if it's possible, even bigger stories coming out.
Oh,
Follow up with
bigger than
I
Obamagate.
think, sir, we've had a number of explosions in Afghanistan. Are you concerned that peace deal may be falling apart?
Good point, Guitar.
Look, Afghanistan, we've been there for many years. We're like a police force. We're not
That's
fighting
true.
in Afghanistan. We're a police force in Afghanistan.
We are
At some
fighting.
point, they're going to have to be able to take care of their country. They're going to have to be able to police their country.
True.
But we're not meant to be a police force. We're meant to be fighters. And we've been there for a long time. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I have not heard that, Steve. We have had, in Kabul, we've had some, I understand, some pretty big blow-ups.
Bombings.
But again, you count on a government to be able to police themselves, and they're having a hard time, I suspect. But again, we are the greatest fighting force in the world. We're not a police force that's going to stay around and police the streets and check out the red lights and traffic. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's been there a long time.
He thinks
Our force is down quite a bit.
he thinks being a police force is giving out traffic tickets. The man is such an idiot. I can't. Guys, I'm done. I can't anymore. My brain just exploded. Good luck on your own. Okay. I see a couple of you want to cover the unmasking, but I can't even with this. After Afghanistan, after he gets done saying nonsense about Afghanistan, we'll talk about unmasking.
As you know, we're way
Yeah,
down.
this is what he just... Hold on, let's go back.
And check out the red lights and traffic. It's not what we're supposed to be doing.
He thinks they're sitting like on the side
Our
of
force is
the
down
highway
quite a bit.
with radar guns.
We're way down.
What did he just say?
And a
That's
lot
not
of people
true.
have come back. In traffic, it's not what we're supposed to be doing. Been there a long time. Our force is down quite a bit, as you know. We're way down. And
No,
a lot of
no,
people
we're
have
not.
brought them back. But the government.
Okay, so he's, again, rewriting history for his benefit. We were down to 8,500 troops at the end of, during 2017, because Obama started to withdraw the troops, which then he said during the campaign he was going to draw all the troops out because, They're not America wars, and America first, campaign. And then if you remember September, October 2017, sometime later in the year, he announced he was sending more troops into Iraq or into Afghanistan. And everybody said, but you said that well, I've taken advice and usually I go with my gut feeling, which is, he literally said that usually he makes decisions based on his gut feeling. So he should be president. And he sent 3,000 more troops into Afghanistan, and they haven't all come out yet. So right now, we're above the levels that we were in 2017. Now, last time I looked at that was probably February or March. So I don't know what's happened since then, but we were still at about 300 more troops in Afghanistan than we were at the end of Obama. Anyway, but that's way down. Again, Trump math.
The government has to be able at some point to do something for themselves. Yes?
Mr. President,
Chairman Powell today said.
Okay, I'm going to cover because a couple of people asked for the unmasking. Okay, here's the official letter. Okay, let me zoom in so you guys can see what's going on here. Even more probably if you're on your phones. Okay, hold on, guys. This is hard to do with two screens. Plus, I'm not bright. Okay, so this is the list of all the people involved in the unmasking. Now, unmasking is not illegal. It's regularly done. What happens is when surveillance by one of the intelligence community anytime surveillance is done on a non-American by the intelligence community, if there's an American involved, that name is masked. So you can't see it because it protects the identity of the individual who happens to be an American citizen. Well, there's a process for requesting that you see who that American is. For example, if it was a terrorist saying, yeah, we're going to plant bombs in the White House. Well, who's the American that's been masked? It goes through a process. The lawyers look at it and they say, yeah, we should unmask that. And then it's unmasked. There's nothing wrong with unmasking. Nothing inherently wrong with it. Now, a list was put out of everybody who is involved in any kind of unmasking between certain dates. Here's the problem with the list. It's confusing. Because what they did is they released a list between two dates, and the list is for, let me use the mouse. Okay. So anybody who submitted an unmasking request in the NSA system. It didn't have to do with General Flynn. He was during that time as well. It was between November, get out of the way. Okay, we might be stuck with that. Hold on. I can move. There it is. So anytime between 8th of November and the 31st of January, this is a list of anybody who either requested or looked at something that had been unmasked. Maybe having to do with General Flynn, maybe not. It doesn't say. The list doesn't specify. And the list has 38 people on it. Of those 38, 16 people requested unmaskings. The rest of them are just select identified principals that may have seen some of the unmasking. So this is not all about Flynn. In fact, many of these unmasking requests are before Flynn even had the phone call. Let's see if I can make it go up. Yeah. So there's 38 people. Only 16 of them were ones who requested unmasking. Now, the trouble is that the GOP looks at this and they look at all 38 people and they get down to the very bottom and they see Vice President Joseph R. Biden. Oh, he unmasked. No, that's not what the list says at all. He may have been the unmasking, requested an unmasking on the 12th of January for one individual, but it's highly unlikely that the vice president was the one doing the unmasking. That's just not the way it usually works. That being said, they're using this as proof of all these people lying and unmasking, etc., but again, this is all unmaskings, and only 16 of the 38 people actually requested an unmasking during that time. Okay, back to Trump.
Both that he wasn't interested in bringing interest rates negative and that he saw a need for additional stimulus from Congress. Yeah. I know that you said we could wait and see on stimulus and that you want negative rates, so I was wondering your reaction.
Well, I'm a believer in negative rates only if other countries that are competitors with Germany, they're an ally, they're friends of ours, but they're still competitors on trade and other things. So Germany, Japan, others have negative rates, and I think if they do, we're the most prime of the world.
Here's the problem. Trump thinks that negative interest rates means that the banks are paying you. That's not the way it works. The negative interest rates that Germany and Japan have right now are when you deposit money into the bank, when a corporation puts money into a bank in Germany, they're actually charged. That's the negative interest. Remember how we used to put money in the bank and then we would get interest from the bank for putting our money in there? Right now, Germany and Japan are charging you. Now, we've always, the checking accounts are $5.95 a month or whatever it was. Right now, if you're a corporation putting $1 million into a bank in Germany, there's negative interest rates. You are paying the bank. They are not paying you. Trump doesn't understand that that's what negative interest rates are. He thinks that if we borrow money from the World Bank, they're going to pay us interest for borrowing the money.
It's based in many countries based on the dollar. The dollar is by far the strongest, most powerful currency in the world. We've made it more powerful. We've made it stronger.
Very bad for business.
And certainly if they're going to have the advantage of negative rates, we should too. I feel strongly we should have negative rates. Negative rates is basically where they pay you interest if you borrow money. This is a new one.
No.
I've been looking for something like that all my life. That's a pretty good one.
That's exactly what I said he thinks, and that's exactly what he
going
thinks.
to be paid.
And how does that make any sense? Just think about it. How? Like at that point, you're like, okay, I would like to borrow $38 gazillion. Of course, that's not how it works.
For putting out money. I mean, think of it. They're borrowing money, and instead of paying interest, they're getting paid. It's the craziest thing. But you know what? Other countries.
It is the craziest thing.
Look at Germany, look at Japan,
because it's
look
crazy.
At others, and we're the most prime in the world right now, and we have the currency, and we have the power of the dollar. So I know that the chairman he's done a very good job over the last couple of months. I have to tell you that because I've been critical, but in many ways I call him my MIP. Do you know what an MIP is?
MIP, anyone? Most important person, many Italy provinces. What's he getting at here? Anybody? I'm going to let you guys guess, and I'm going to look something up while you guys guess. His MIP. MIP. I'm not even looking that up. I'm looking something else up. So he thinks, I don't know how delayed you guys are because no one's responded yet. Let's look at the chat here. Trump's guts are necrotic. That is absolutely true, Ruth Ann. Karen's here. Is there a Karen? You guys are too fast in the chat for me. So he just called Jerome Powell of the Fed his MIP. Anyone? Most improved player. Oh, that's a very good guess, Ruth Ann. That is, because he was really mad at Powell before. Powell, again, most illiterate person. That's him. Nobody's more illiterate than I am. I'm the leader of the whole illiterati. Trademark. Most improved player. Okay, you may be right. These are both, Ruth Ann and Guitar, both good guesses. Let's find out what he means.
Most improved player.
Oh, you guys were right.
Most improved player award. Did you ever get one of them when you were playing baseball, Corey? Good baseball player?
Is that a thing, guys?
The chairman, he's...
I want to hear the joke.
Player award. Did you ever get one of them when you were playing baseball, Corey? Good baseball
Certainly
player?
not.
The chairman, he's my MIP right
Is that
now
a thing?
for
Is
the last,
MIP?
few months.
Is that a
He's
thing
done a
that
very
Trump
good
didn't
job.
invent? Because I've never heard of it.
I disagree with him on one thing now, and that's negative rates. And only because we're paying
Oh,
zero.
mushroom and pancake is
Good news,
fantastic.
This money you're talking about in the stimulus, we're paying zero. We're down to zero.
Look at the way here he crosses his arms. Completely inefficient. He's basically hugging himself. You have to take that lower hand and loop it around the arm, and then it's locked, and you've got yourself a situation where it takes care of itself. See how that works? Hold on. Get rid of that stupid crawl. Get out of there. Well, I mean, you guys know how to you all know how to cross your arms. He's the one human being on the planet who can't figure out how to cross his arms. There's no hand. You need a hand right there to lock it into place so that you're not actually using an effort. Trump says he was a pretty good athlete, so I'm inclined to believe him because, otherwise he's completely honest.
That's good.
It's called
But
credibility.
Some countries and some states, rather, and some also countries you look at, but we are We are
What?
paying right now 0, and other.
Wait, I missed that.
That's good, but something now, and that's negative rates, and only because we're paying 0. Good news, with this money you're talking about in the stimulus, we're paying 0. We're down to 0 interest. That's good, but some countries and some states rather, and some also countries you look at, but we are paying right now 0, and other countries are paying less than that, if you can believe it. They're receiving money.
Can't.
And I think we should be in the exact
and no states.
same situations. And by the way, states are getting tremendous.
I can't get over this. He thinks countries are being paid to borrow money. He actually believes that is happening. That somewhere there are bankers that are saying, well, we got no choice. We got to give them all this money and then pay them to take it. What world does he live in?
Tremendous deals in borrowing. So a lot of the states that are coming to the federal government, they
Thanks,
can go out
JJ.
and they can
Welcome
borrow.
aboard.
They're
Hey,
getting
Noel.
phenomenal rates. Some of our states is what I'm talking about. They're getting phenomenal borrowing rates.
But you agree that stimulus should move forward? There's been some Republicans who suggest that
I don't know. It depends. Certainly not the package that I saw today.
What?
Basically, if you look at
Why doesn't someone in the press just ask, how does that work, sir? How does a bank pay people to borrow money from them and still stay in business? Like that, you'd have to have the entire board of directors for the bank go along with this idea. Hey, our CEO lent out $40 billion last quarter and paid an additional $2 billion. Let's give him a bonus. We're going to give you a negative bonus this year.
that package, what they want more than anything else is it's a voting package. They want to be able to make sure that.
Hey, side note, if anyone wants to refinance right now, let me know, because I've got a fantastic broker, and she's such a Karen. I mean, her name is Karen, but she's amazing. I don't know if brokers are allowed to do interstate stuff because, again, we got too many countries. But if anyone's interested in refinancing, let me know. She's fantastic.
Republicans can't win an election by putting in all sorts of mailing ballots. Now, I don't know if you do because the press doesn't report this too much, but we had 2 very big victories last night. We won very big. Tom Tiffany won very big in the great state of Wisconsin. You saw that. That was last night it came in. That was a big one. You saw that, Doug? And won by a very, very substantial margin. And in California, of all places, we had a fantastic race, and this was all mail-in ballots. This was all mailed ballots. And when
We
they
got
saw,
that.
because it was mailed, they saw they were losing 3 days ago, and they ended up putting polling booths into basically Democrat areas. But despite
Democratic.
that, it's looking like Mike Garcia. I don't know if they've called the race yet, but he was substantially ahead.
They have
That's
now.
the problem with mail-in ballots. Are they going to dump a whole pile of ballots on your desk just before the election? So the problem with the mail-in ballots, it's subject to tremendous corruption.
It isn't.
Tremendous corruption, cheating.
Nope.
And so I'm against it. And if you look at the bill that Nancy Pelosi is putting,
Somebody follow up with
has
this,
a lot
please.
to do with elections, and that we're not going to lose elections because of that.
Is it a non-starter? Or?
And I do think you should mention the fact that the Republicans won 2 major congressional seats last night. I think it's really worthy of mentioning.
Mr. President, do you believe that the
It's a good
judge
point, Tyra.
presiding
So
over
there was
the
one that was all mail-in, and a Republican won. But it's impossible.
Non-starter, or is there anything in there you could support? Or?
Well, it's, as they say, DOA, right?
Okay.
DOA.
Most
Dead or
improved dead.
Of course, Nancy Pelosi knows that, obviously.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you believe that the judge presiding over the
He thinks he's and the way he says it, he thinks he's so clever. Wait, I got to cross my arms without crossing them. So I'm hugging myself now. It's as they say, DOA. DO, that is dead. DOA. I wonder what he thinks of himself. That he really thinks he's doing a fantastic job.
Sullivan ought to recuse himself or be disqualified for being biased against Mr. Flynn?
I was just with General Milley and some other generals, and I asked him about General Flynn. Do you know him? They said, yes, sir, I've known him for 20 years. What do you think? He's an incredible man, an incredible soldier. He's an incredible general. This is General Milley, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, 4-star. He's done fantastically.
Paywall.
He thinks General Flynn is a great, great gentleman and a real fighter. And when I see what is happening to him, it's disgraceful. And
David with Snopes just jumped in the room and sent us a New York Times article about mail-in balloting. I'll read that later. It's caught behind my paywall right now, and right now I'm not subscribed to the Times because I'm kind of upset with the Times. Moving on.
it was all a ruse. And by the way, the FBI said he didn't
Dead
lie.
over America.
The FBI said he did not lie. So
No.
with all this stuff I'm
FBI
hearing
did
about
not
lying,
say
the
he did
FBI
not
said
lie.
He didn't lie. But the
Okay, first off, Trump fired him for saying that he lied. Let's see, I actually think I actually have that tweet up here. That's the China conspiracy. I'll play this.
Mike Flynn is a fine person, and I asked for his resignation. He respectfully gave it. He is a man who there was a certain amount of information given to Vice President Pence, who's with us today. But the thing is, he didn't tell our Vice President properly, and then he said he didn't remember. So either way, it wasn't very satisfactory to me.
Okay, that's enough of that. Basically, he fired, and in his tweet, he admitted he fired Flynn because he lied to Vice President Pence and to the FBI. The FBI did not say that Flynn did not lie. The FBI knew Flynn was lying, but he did not give any physical outward appearances. In other words, Flynn's a pretty good liar. You get somebody in a room, some people, if they lie about something, they're going to be like fidgeting or they're touching their nose or, you know, all the things you see on TV about how to tell if someone's lying. Flynn sat there and just outright lied and gave no physical appearance. He wasn't sweating, didn't look like his heart was racing. He lied to the FBI. They did not say he told the truth. But again, the president, it's no wonder the president can't understand this. He thinks that banks are lending out money and paying you a bonus to take it off their hands.
Sleazebag said, well, we don't care what they say, we're saying he lied. Okay, but the FBI, you remember when they left, they said he didn't lie.
No, they didn't.
What they've done to that man and that family is a disgrace. But I just tell you that because I just left General
That criminal
Milley, he said,
who was working for a foreign government.
Soldier.
Would you consider a pardon for Mr. Flynn?
I won't talk about that, but he's going to be okay. He's going to be just fine.
What about the
And I'm very, very
That's true,
saddened
Guitar.
by what's happening to General Flynn and others.
Hold
I
on.
want to tell you right now.
Very, very what?
And others.
Sorry.
And I'm very, very saddened by what's
saddened.
happening to General Flynn and
Aw.
others. I want to tell you right now, and others.
Who's Dothers?
Dr. Fauci yesterday was a little cautious on reopening the economy too soon. Do you share his concern
About reopening what?
reopening
The
the economy too
the
soon
economy?
at some stage?
Look, he wants to play all sides of the equation.
Look at the way. Look at
I
he's
think
got
we're going to have a tremendous fourth quarter. I think we're going to have a transitional third
he's got
quarter.
his fists tucked
And
in
I
back
think we're
here.
going to have a phenomenal
Why?
next year. I feel
That's
that
not the
we
way
are
it
going
works.
to have a country that's ready to absolutely have one of its best years. Next year, with
Oh,
all
I
of
miss
the
Ann.
stimulus and all of the fact that it's a pent-up demand like I haven't seen.
All of
and
the
you
fact.
see it right now.
All of the fact.
These two really professional, good governors that do such a, work so hard. I know both of them very well. One happens to be a Democrat.
Oh, I like this.
Okay, but we've worked together, and I think we've worked together very well.
Okay, so that's the
One
governor of
would expect me
Colorado.
to say that, but it happens to be true. Okay, really good job too. But we've worked very, very well together. They want to get their states open. Some governors and some, perhaps partisans, maybe for.
Look at this, by the way. The guy can't get a suit that fits properly. Greatest deal maker in history, and every single suit is ill-fitting on him.
Election.
Probably be. I bet he goes to his tailor and tells them, and I'm 6'4", 205 pounds. It's official.
Reasons don't want to have their states open. And then some shouldn't open them quite yet. They're not ready. They went through a lot and they're not quite ready. But no, we're opening our country. People want it open. The schools are going to be open. I was seeing the other day Purdue, great school, great college, university. And Purdue is opening, and others are opening, and they're all announcing it. These are young people. These are students, young students. They're in great shape. They're in great shape. Now, will you have an incident, 1 out of 1,000,000, 1 out of 500,000? Will something happen? Perhaps. But,
600 out of 100,000? Yeah.
you can be driving to school and some bad things can happen too.
Oh,
So
no more driving.
In our country.
Sorry,
We
Mr.
want it
President,
open.
When you
And that's, you shouldn't, because something might happen, you shouldn't wear your seatbelt either. Do not take preventative measures because you could drown in the bathtub. And if you ask Dr. Phil, 360,000 Americans drown in pools every year. What world does Dr. Phil live in that like everybody has a pool? He's got 8.
You say Dr. Fauci is playing both sides. Are you suggesting that the advice?
Well, I was
he's giving
surprised.
to you is
I was
different?
surprised by his answer, actually, because it's just, to me, it's not an acceptable answer, especially when it comes to schools. The only thing that would be acceptable, as I said, is professors, teachers, etc., over a certain age. I think they ought to take it easy for another few weeks, 5.
Is he talking about Dr. Fauci, guys? Did he just say Dr. Fauci's answer is not an acceptable answer?
Weeks, 4 weeks, who knows, whatever it may be. But I think they have to be careful because this is a disease that attacks age.
No.
And it attacks health.
Tax
And
everybody.
if you have a heart problem, if you have diabetes, if you're a certain age, it's certainly much more dangerous. But with the young children, and students, it's really, just take a look
Still has
at
a
the
golf course there
statistics. It's pretty
in Scotland.
Mr. President, businesses are concerned about getting sued once they reopen. Will you be insistent on some sort of shield from liability being in a phase
If
4
anything's
bill?
done, I would do that. And these are the new testing numbers, so you saw that.
Oh, here we go again.
I was just showing this to a group of people outside. We're now over 10
Of course you
million
were.
tests, or we will be very shortly, like within a couple of.
These have become the new ratings. Seth Meyers told a story years ago about when Trump was on SNL. He kept his TV ratings for The Apprentice in his top pocket, suit pocket, and he'd take them out and show them to people. Everybody he met, he would show them his latest TV ratings. That's what Trump is about. These are the new TV ratings, and they're completely wrong, as I've showed you early in the broadcast. Just in case someone's joined us since then, take a look at this picture right here. Let's zoom in. I know some of you have seen this already, but this is a nice clear picture, okay? This is, boop, boop, boop. Here we go. Our World in Data. That's that site, okay? Look at the USA all the way up by itself. I can't read this. What do we think this says? New Zealand, maybe? Looks like a Z right there. Or a Z for you Canadians, AJ, if you're still watching. Let's go to the actual chart. Again, we can see on there, that's the Our World in Data chart. Here's the Our World in Data chart. Okay? All of these countries down here, they're all missing. They're all missing. He took them all off so that the chart looks a lot better. We're missing Russia. We're missing Germany. We're missing Italy. We're missing the United Kingdom. Back to Trump. Give me a second. Sorry. Let's zoom in again. Look at all of those countries missing. But that's the chart that they've given him. Looks like South Korea's on there. That's this one right here. This one goes across like that. That's South Korea. But there's a whole group of countries. It almost... Are they erased, guys? Does this look like there's something that's supposed to be there, but it's not? Or is this just... No, you know what? This is the camera. We're zooming in on a feed. It's been compressed on YouTube. So, no, that's just me going conspiracy theory on you guys. Sorry. Man, I got lost for a second there. That's just fragmentation by the camera. My bad. Yeah, anything you set up on YouTube gets compressed massively because they have so much data going on up there. But let's get back to this. Sorry, guys, I went full conspiracy.
Look at that test. This is us. This is the rest of the world.
Nope.
Okay.
The rest of the world is missing.
We have more tests, and we have better tests, John. We have more tests, and we have better tests.
They're not
And
better.
We're going to have your football team in.
The UK has the best
Championship
test now.
Football team, right? And we were the bison. And tell us a little bit about the team first of all. You know, they won the championship, and we were all set to have them. And what happened is the plague came in, and because of the plague, came in from China. And because of the plague, we didn't have those great people, but we'll do a rain check, okay? But seriously, even if it's in a few months, we'll do a rain check. Tell them about the team, because it was a tremendous season.
Well, I would just say that the team and Senator Hoven was here, Senator Kramer was here, the whole Fidel, but the First Lady.
Don't get to watch too much of the television football games, right? And I'm saying, man, that team is really good. They were really good. And then I got a call from Doug, and I get a call from John, I get a call from our other very friendly senator, right? The three of them, and they said, do you think we could possibly honor the team, because we honor the national champion? And my question was, how would your team do against the national champions? They were pretty good. LSU this year, right? Not a bad quarterback, huh?
Yep.
How do you think? I don't know. You think okay, right?
We open up against Oregon
Yep.
next year at Oregon.
Wow.
So then we'll be able to answer your question.
That's pretty good.
And
would
that
be-
great LSU quarterback started his career playing flag football in elementary school in Fargo, North Dakota, so that's where he got his
His
start.
dad coached him.
Got a good start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Burrow's dad coached him.
Well, let the team know we're going to do a rain check.
Yep.
Okay?
Mr.
Okay.
President,
Yeah, please.
What will happen to the public companies that don't return their PPP loans to the SBA by tomorrow's deadline?
Well, we'll go after them very seriously, yeah. If there's any companies that got loans that they weren't entitled to, we'll go after them very seriously. They'll have big problems.
Mr. President, what's your level of confidence that the Supreme Court will ultimately rule in your favor in the case involving your tax returns?
I hope they will. I mean, look, it's, you have a situation where a president has to be able to focus on this. And, you know, when you're doing an
And I have a hard time
You
focusing.
know, in the old days, no president gave tax returns. A while ago, I mean, no president gave tax returns. But when you're under audit, who would want to give them? It's a very big thing. But it would also take time. It would take
Nope.
And this.
So one of the cases is the state of New York looking into potential criminal behavior. And Mazars, the accounting firm, his accounting firm, already has all the paperwork. He wouldn't have to do anything. So as far as being a distraction,
People are going to get, ultimately, people are going to be getting returns. They're going to see that. But I think, I think it went very well yesterday. I thought I have great respect for the Supreme Court. And I think
does he though?
the lawyers put out a very strong case. And from what I've read, it was a very strong case. Yeah, please.
From what I've read.
How long do you and the Vice President plan to stay apart? Just-
Well, it's an interesting question. I haven't seen Mike Pence, and I miss him. But he was in the room with somebody that tested positive, and he did not test positive. He tested the opposite. He's in good shape. But I guess we said for a little while we'll stay apart because you don't know what happens with this very crazy and horrible disease.
Crazy.
But we speak a lot on the phone. But I'm in the White House. Mike is at his office, but he's pretty much away from people. He's doing a great job. He's done a great job, I think you'd say, on the task force. He really has. I think you've pretty much gotten everything you wanted, and we try and get it to you quickly.
And we got 80,000 dead,
Right.
so that's a lot.
We've worked very well together with Republican governors and with Democrat governors. And
Democratic.
And explain what you're going to do.
Yeah,
Doug, I'm going to ask you.
we're most businesses are open in Colorado. Pretty much everything except for those social businesses like bars and nightclubs. A few places have restaurants open. We're working on the rest soon, but offices, manufacturing,
Right.
salons, pretty much all people are back in a safer way, right? It's not the same way it was. Like if you go, I got my hair cut the other day.
Looks good.
Thank you. You should have seen it before. It was crazy. What little is left of it.
Not bad, not bad.
So they wore a mask. I
He's
wore a
actually
mask. So
pretty funny.
We're doing it in a safe way.
He's very
all the
loud,
stores
too.
are back. And April 27th, we were one of the states where we wanted to do that in a safe way. People are being responsible. I mean, and it's that individual responsibility that's going to make sure that we can stay on this trajectory. And hopefully restaurants in May, by the end of May. I mean, they're already open in a few places in our state.
How about, because I go there, as you know, and the ski slopes are fantastic,
Yeah.
right? There are those that say the greatest anywhere. How are you doing with the skiing? And, it's a big business for you.
Well,
it's a big
it's-
business.
it's
also
May,
one of the
Mr.
reasons
President.
that we got a lot of the virus in our state because people come from all over the world,
very
all over the
interesting.
world.
I've heard that.
And so that's what led to the spread. And so most of the ski season is ending, but we're actually hopeful. We have, a lot of people don't know this, but in Colorado we have a few areas that they're skiing through July 4th.
They are.
And we're hoping that people will be able to ski again. David knows this, Secretary Bernhardt knows this, in Arapahoe Basin, Wolf Creek, maybe Breckenridge, Loveland in June. We're hoping that people can act.
Breckenridge is actually pretty cool. AJ, there's a proper way to remove the mask to prevent transmission? Tell us, please.
And you also do a lot of summer business and springtime business, and what are you doing with that?
You know, we're really respecting the communities in our state because they have a lot at stake. Nobody is more at stake than in fact, Jill Ryan, who's with us from Eagle, she's our Secretary of Health in Colorado. She was a commissioner in Eagle County, which is where Vail is.
Right.
So they have the most at stake economically and from a health perspective. So, you know, we're really respecting.
Trumpsky is his Secret Service code name. Because, you know, Russia.
What the different communities decide. I think there'll be some folks that
You know the joke's good when you have to explain it.
they're coming back.
I know some of you probably got that, or you will get it by the time it gets to you because of the delay. So I'll wait for the LOLs. 1001, 1000. Moving on.
Spending money in stores. There'll be other communities that say, you know what, we have to wait a little bit longer, and it's been very traumatic for many of those communities because Eagle County, for a while, had the highest infection rate in the country early on.
That.
Yeah, early on. And
So
now
there's
they've
people
resolved
coming
it.
because everyone
Yeah.
goes, everyone coming in.
Yeah.
How has that been? How is the level of infection right now?
Eagle County's done an amazing job, as has Summit County, Pickens County, Aspen, you know,
Right,
all those
sure.
areas. Gotten it under control because they acted early. They have great county health departments. They look at the science. They look at the data. Their residents stayed home. And in fact, Eagle County was one of the first in our state, along with Mesa County, which Secretary Bernhardt knows well, Grand Junction area, to be able to open up a little bit ahead of some of the other areas in a safer way, right? In a safer way.
Yeah.
So like in Grand Junction, the restaurants are at 25% capacity. So there's space. We're looking at ways that people can dine outdoors, sidewalks, and even on a lane of the road because it's safer to be in that environment. So those are the kinds of things that we think about as we're just trying to get back to as much normalcy as we can.
And Corey, you're working together very much, I know, with the governor and everybody else.
We do. We speak regularly. The governor's done a good job, and I appreciate that, and here to help as much as we can.
One of the things we did that Corey introduced us to and worked on was importing some tests from South Korea. So we have they're already being used in our state. We're also partnering with the Vice President.
Well, they got suckered. Our tests are better than the South Korean tests. So
And you on
our tests are beautiful.
some Thermo Fisher tests that I think are coming very soon. We're getting,
Right.
I think,
I
95,000
was
in the next
told they're
week.
here and
Good.
you're getting them very quickly.
Good. We're excited because we're running through those tests from South Korea. But that's what's so important. It's the
They're still using the tests from South Korea.
supplies, right? We have the ability to do it. The labs to do it. You guys sent around the labs. We have the capacity, but it's getting the tests in. And
Everybody read AJ's comment for how to take off a mask properly.
so, you know, both with the Thermo Fisher test, the Abbott test, the Solgen tests, we're mixing and matching across. We have 32 free community testing sites across our state. Some of them you drive in, some of them you walk in, but those are free. And
Yeah, try folding your arms like that because it takes effort. You literally have to hold this arm. The outside arm is holding the inside arm in. You're hugging yourself. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, the lower arm just falls out. Completely inefficient.
And that's in addition to the hospitals and doctors' offices.
Right.
Of course, you get tested there. But we have
That's right,
32
Sue.
free community testing sites in
And you have
different
good
parts of our state.
health care in that state. Yeah.
And Mr. President, so I think the key that Jared has talked about, the governor's talked about is you have counties that have a plan that they're able to open up earlier than others because of the work that they're doing. And so when the governor's talking about Grand Junction, you have restaurants that aren't just open, but you have dine-in in some of these restaurants, which I think is maybe some of the first around the country to actually reopen to dine-in because of the good work that they have done together.
And then we wanted to, for our restaurants were open throughout this whole period in our state.
Right.
They just did delivery, they did takeout, they did curbside, and we even waived some of the laws so they could sell alcohol curbside and sell alcohol delivery because that extra piece can make the difference between them staying in business
How do
or
they
not.
do? How do those restaurants do with the takeout?
You'll hear from some that are doing okay with it. It doesn't work for every restaurant, and that's why they need to be open for the
Right.
in-restaurant dining. But for many of them, it's paid their bills, and they've gotten through it, and it's helped
Good.
them.
Good
Not
idea.
every restaurant, but I hear those stories that it's helped them get through
Yeah.
it. That we've been able to make sure they've been able to stay in business the whole time.
And I think yesterday we talked as well about Colorado's additional Thermo Fisher test,
Yep.
and that'll be a very big help to get those.
That's a great test.
Yeah.
That's a new and a great test. So Doug, how about North
He doesn't know what it
How
is.
you doing?
Well, first I want to just leave with gratitude and say thank you to you for your leadership and the Vice President, Dr. Burks, and the whole team.
Oh.
It's been a great partnership, federal to state to local in North Dakota. And secondly, I want
So Eugene Levy is now the governor of North Dakota? I thought he was Canadian.
to say thanks to all the great people in North Dakota because like Jared in Colorado, I mean, we relied a lot on individual responsibility, light touch from
Yeah, it's a good point, Guitar. It's always about money with Trump.
government, and had great
Well, money and relationships. So he's going to brag about this meeting because, what great friends these guys are.
great results. And here we sit today, we're number 2 in the nation. We passed New York this week in terms of testing per capita.
Great.
So we've really driven in. We've tested over 6%
And
of
you're
the
using
population.
different tests?
No.
Different, and you're in good shape with the testing. What tests are you using?
Well, this has all been the PCR, the nucleic acid testing,
Right.
and it's been across
Give me a
number of
second.
different platforms, Thermo Fisher, Abbott, Panther, and so we've got a variety of different platforms, but most of it driven through our state lab, which has had an order of magnitude increase. So we've got 3 shifts today, and each shift is doing more than 3 times they did before, so a 10x increase going on there on the testing
That's
side.
fantastic.
No,
And then we're
yeah,
the
Rhode
most
Island's way
populous
ahead of them still,
city rate in
so
the country, so we've
they may
been,
be second, but they're not
Alaska and
first.
Hawaii are ahead of us, but we've been right at the bottom in terms of that. You take those 2 things together.
So what do you attribute that to?
Well, I would say we very early on.
Being a good governor, right?
Well, geography helps, and the people of the state help. Those 2 things. But I'd say we took early action to try to reduce transmissible moments. So we kept 93% of the jobs in the state open, but the 7% we closed was in bars, restaurants, and personal care businesses. Everybody else kept going. All of construction, all of energy, all of ag. Including all of elective surgery at hospitals, kept that going.
Oh, wow, that's
And we were
fantastic.
able, because we never ran, we were well stocked, we had a great
Right.
medical cash
That's
and
great.
PPE. We never took more than 2% of our capacity in healthcare. We have a lot of great healthcare providers in North Dakota, only 2% were going to COVID.
That's
And
fantastic.
so we were able to then drive through that. I mean, we handled the virus. And really
That's
focused.
Eugene Levy.
And Michelle Comer here, who leads our Commerce Department. We have less to worry about opening up because we never.
That
really
man is
closed
so
down.
versatile.
But on that other 7%, we got bars, restaurants, personal care businesses open.
American
May 1st,
Pie.
and all that's going very well under new operating procedures.
SCTV,
that
yeah.
everybody in the state,
Yeah,
to
that's
stay
that's
safe.
definitely
And
him.
your oil prices are going
But
up
you know
a
what?
bit
He
now, so
he'll
they're
do anything.
$26,
So
$27 a barrel.
LA shuts down, boom, he's going to be
pretty
governor in
soon,
Colorado, or he's going to play governor North Dakota
Big difference.
for a
Well,
while.
absolutely, because
I'm
what
in.
we do in North Dakota is we power the world, we feed the
Right,
world, number
right.
2 oil producing state in the nation. And a lot of the unemployment that we saw early on wasn't related to the virus, it was related to the demand destruction associated with the oil price.
Still squeezing himself.
John, what do you have to say about the state and the job the governor and everybody else has done? I know it well.
Listening to these 2 governors, I was governor for a long time, tells me your approach is the right approach. You're working with the governors across this country and empowering them to open up as soon as they can safely based on the conditions in their state, and every state's different. And that's why that approach is so important. And then you providing all that support along with us in Congress with the CARES Act, as well. But you see that now.
AJ, that's because there's only like 8 of you in the entire province.
And across the country. So that's why it's so important that you're doing it the way that you're doing it with these great governors that we have across the state.
Worked
So
out well.
thank you for that.
Dr.
The other thing I
Scarf
wanna
looks like a
mention is for our
popsicle.
farmers, I work a lot on ag.
Yes.
But for our farmers and ranchers, you've been there for them and hang in there with them. They're doing a whale of a job.
What happened?
It's so important, and our energy industry too.
And we're sending.
Oh, they changed
millions of
camera
dollars
angles.
of,
Sorry, guys. I wanted to show you
money
guys
that we're
Dr.
taking
Scarf.
From a country that targeted them. Last year we gave them $16 billion. The year before we gave them $12 billion. And no other president would have done that, I can tell you.
And it's really important and appreciated, and we need to hang in there with them. And the only other thing I gotta tell you is we have a great governor, as you know, but he is so data-driven that I was teasing Dr. Burks, who's more data.
There she is.
These 2 are
She is.
they're amazing together. You ought to. They're just amazing.
That's great. Michelle, do you have anything to say?
Well, it's been a privilege to work for Governor Burgum. I think it's through his wisdom that, we've talked a lot about lowering the curve, but as
Right.
Governor Burgum pointed out, we didn't close the state, so I feel like
It's so great.
we raised the bottom. And we've had the good fortune to work very, very closely with our business community, and it's through that process and the open dialogue and the collaboration and the hyper-connectedness in our state that we were able to build our what we call North Dakota Smart Restart protocols with our business community over the span of about 8 days. And so we were closed for 40 days and 40 nights, and we are opening in a safe way.
That's
and
fantastic.
We're really proud of the work that's happened there.
You've done a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just to finish off, go ahead.
Well, hi. Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank the federal government for its partnership on our COVID-19 response, and particularly the supplies you've given us, the tests, and look.
Whoa, this is not good, guys. Check out North Dakota here. Look at this. Go away. Stupid ad. Okay, well, it's right in the way of North Dakota. Hold on. There we go. North Dakota, I'll zoom in for you. This is pretty bad. North Dakota, right there. They only have 1,600 cases. Yesterday, they had 76 new ones out of 1,647. That's a growth rate you don't want to see for a single day. So let's go to today. Give me a second here. I can do that. And let's look at today. And this will be so far today. This isn't... No? It's not going to do it? Okay, hold on. Stay with me here, folks. So 74 yesterday. And then so far today... south. There it is. North. 65 already today. No, they're going through a spike. I hope this is just because they've got new testing. I don't know, but... when you've only got 1,700 cases to begin with, and it's 74 one day and then 65 the next day, that is not a good sign at all. Those are terrible numbers.
Look forward to that continuing, and the more people we can test, and then we can force multiply that with contact tracing, so we can quarantine people that haven't even had a test yet. That's really, the way that we're going to contain the virus in Colorado. We've got a local public health department that covers every county.
Whoa, guys. She's speaking and she has her mask on. She's a wizard.
They are ready to do testing and contact tracing, and so that's our plan. It's going to be a statewide effort.
Well, thank you very much. Terrific job, too.
And while we're here, I want to also say Secretary Bernhardt doing a fantastic job, because we had a chance to interact with him on national parks. We had great things going on in the Theodore Roosevelt National Park as we move ahead with it.
I really wish he had Levy's voice. And he explained things to the president, like Eugene Levy in the American Pie explained things to his kid.
Nations that are headquartered in North Dakota with whom we share geography and
well, you see,
collaboration.
when a woman wants to let you know that she likes you.
They've had a lot of difficulty in the different tribes, haven't they?
They
A lot
have.
of difficulty.
I
Tremendous
want to
stuff.
thank the Secretary and BIA and for all their support.
This is a lot of dear leader.
David, you've done a great job. Do you feel comfortable with all those cameras right behind your head?
So,
Like,
you gave
the
me
fuck?
clear direction to work with governors to open things up. We work with local communities.
You okay with the
Our
cameras?
parks. My goal is that we're right on the
Again,
shoulder of the
80,000
governor.
dead Americans.
We've worked with Larimer County and Health Department in Estes Park to bring that online. We've opened up Theodore Roosevelt, and we just announced today the timing of the.
That's not Jared. I don't know. I don't think that's Jared
So
lurking.
you're getting those parks open, right?
Absolutely.
So I hope everybody's listening. The parks are opening, and rapidly, actually.
With those governors.
Right, and with those governors.
Exactly, guitar.
Even with the counties.
Are you enjoying this episode?
And we're all excited because recreating outdoors is safe and healthy.
Yeah.
The flip side is we're not yet ready to have all the people from other states and other
And
countries
that's why
coming
we're
in. So that's
collaborating
the
with
balance.
those local communities to ramp
So
up.
in all cases, you're working with governors and opening the big.
And local towns.
That's great.
Absolutely.
That's great. Great job. Thank you.
Good neighbor.
Thank you very much, everybody.
How do you increase the confidence in the American public to go travel on America's airlines right
They have great confidence, and they have great confidence in us, and they have great confidence in the airlines. We've saved the airlines with $25 billion and another $25 billion, and
Which makes
we have
86,
airlines that are
but
now in good shape. I mean, they're going to pick up with the fares and with the seats, but the airline industry is in good shape. We've been able to save the airline industry, which would have been devastating if that happened. So they're in good shape. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
We had to give them an $86 billion loan, but they're in good shape. All right, that was that. Or the way to describe it, except that Trump honestly believes that you can borrow money and banks give you more money for the privilege of letting them lend you the money. Greatest deal maker of all time. Sorry, the washing machine's going in the background if you guys can hear that. You know what? I'm not even going to apologize for that because guess what? I'm working out of home right now. That's what's going on. I don't know if any of you have heard, but there's a pandemic. Pandemic, I like to call it. It's been $86 billion actually, and the airlines will probably get more money. Here's the thing about the airlines. It'll take like 2 hours to say goodbye again. Since 2010, the airlines have made $250 billion. Now, we don't go back before 2010 because there was a recession, and they lost $25-30 billion during the recession. Even though they just went through a recession where they realized, hey, we could lose money, instead of squirreling some money away in case something bad happened again, they just keep shelling the money over to the investors through dividends, etc., stock buybacks, etc. So what's the grasshopper and the ant? Yeah, so basically this is the ant just giving more to the grasshopper. Like, they knew bad things happen. They didn't put any money away. Something bad happens, and hold on, the taxpayers have some money here. We'll give it to you. In fact, we're going to borrow money. And then the taxpayers are going to have to pay back that money. But the good news is they're going to get paid to borrow money. That's how the world works in Trump's head. So we bailed out the airlines, and we're going to get paid to do it. So good news, everybody. So part of the plan, according to Mnuchin, was that the U.S. government will get stocks in some of the airlines. Does that mean that I'm going to be able to fly for free? That's what I want to know. Because actually, so yay, for the first time in my life, I managed to earn enough miles, etc., on Southwest to get a companion pass. So I could take Kevin Lee Daughter anywhere I want to on Southwest for the rest of the year. It's the first year I've ever had that privilege. And we get a pandemic. So really, guys, this is on me. This is Kevma. This is how life works, and I apologize. Let me catch up on chat here. Ruth Ann, thank you very much. Love you back. Lizzie, it's very possible, Lizzie. I don't know. I appreciate all you guys. Kevin, how can I help support you? Well, that's an excellent question, Betty Sue. I appreciate you asking. Anybody who'd like to support me, go to kevinleefather.com, and that's a Patreon page, and there you can contribute $5 a month or $10 or $25. I think $25 makes you a protester, and you get a t-shirt when I finally get the t-shirts done. And if you want to contribute $86 billion, that'll help me ride out the rest of this pandemic. You know, because I haven't. I think that's the frog and the scorpion. I think every culture, depending on what creatures are there, there's the squirrel one, there's the frog, the scorpion, there's the one where you put the fox on one side and the chicken on the other side of the river. So yeah, every culture has something like that. Thank you, Guitar. Thank you for keeping it entertaining, guys. And the 38 cents, of course, from Chris. I really appreciate that. So that's the bottom level, but still so important. So thanks to Chris Wilson. I haven't seen him talk in a while, so he may not still be in here. All right, guys. I think that's probably it for the day. Don't forget on Saturday at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 Newfoundland. AJ, if you're 3:30 Newfoundland. I can still do that math. Newfoundland is a half an hour ahead of the rest of Canada. Nobody knows why, but there you are. I do like ribs. I'm not even going to ask. I'm going to say goodbye because otherwise I'll just talk all afternoon. What time is it? 3:30. Okay, I have to go get boxes, so that'll be fun. And it's meaningless to you guys. Did we cover everything? We went over the unmasking videos. Oh, there's Chris. Yeah. So I'm going to go spend 40 times what Chris Wilson donates in a month so I can buy a box. How do I get a Patreon refund? That's an excellent question, and you can't. This is what Patreon does. Patreon takes money. Let's say you give me $5 a month. Patreon takes, I don't know, $1 out of that, whatever they take. to facilitate that. Okay, because most people put this on a credit card, there's credit card fees, etc. They might actually take something and then the credit card fees, however it works, and then you get the money. Now, if you have a problem with Patreon, for example, I had a problem with Patreon where I was donating money to a certain YouTube channel. It was $10 a month, and I canceled it. Now, about a year later, because it just comes out of my PayPal, and I don't pay that much attention to my PayPal because money gets deposited from music and other things that I do. It just gets deposited in there. I don't worry about it. And when Kevin Lee daughter wants to buy something, I just say, oh, use PayPal. Do they take PayPal? I'll use PayPal. But I did notice then that I was getting charged $10 for Patreon. And then a couple of other, like a $5, another $10, or whatever it was, because I was supporting some Patreon artists. But I was like, I think I stopped supporting this guy like last year. And I looked, and I did. Patreon's response to this? Okay, we'll cancel it. Okay, good, yeah. So the next month, I got charged again. And I said to Patreon, hey, this needs to stop. And also, I want a refund going back. Now I might have made a mistake the first time. There could be wires were crossed or whatever. Let's not worry about it. It was, $110 or whatever it ended up being. I said, now I want a refund. And I found the email that I said, hey, cancel this. And you didn't cancel it. Therefore, I want a refund. And their response was to say, oh, you need to talk to the creator. We don't act, once we give them the money, there's nothing they're the ones who didn't cancel it. But they were pushing all that responsibility onto the creator. So, if anyone wants to send me money directly, let's bypass this whole Patreon thing. That would be great. But, Patreon doesn't give refunds. I never bothered contacting the creator because I really don't want to say, hey, you guy who creates things that I've enjoyed in the past. Somehow I must have said, okay, Google, because my phone just turned on. Oh, there it is. That time I did say, okay, Google. And it didn't pick it up that time. Typical. I didn't want to contact the guy who actually does the creation that I had previously watched and say, hey, Patreon, would you mind sending me $120? Which I would have been within my rights to do. But come on, Patreon. Anyway, so until something better comes along, Patreon's the way to go. So if you'd like to support me, the easy way to get to Patreon, kevinleefather.com. That was a 14-minute answer to a very simple question. Ruth Ann, yes, you can PayPal me $100. I don't know, how would I even... That's an excellent question. If you're serious, are you serious? I'll wait until there's an answer. If you're serious... then yeah, I will shoot you my my PayPal info. Ruth Ann, you could Venmo me $100 if you wanted to. I wouldn't turn that down. So yeah, if you guys are serious about that, let me know and I'll shoot you a message. Can I shoot you a message in here? Hold on, I actually can. Stay with me, guys. I'm going to keep the broadcast going. Lizzie, 38 cents via mail. Yeah, you can tape the money. When you were a kid, did you ever get a birthday card from a grandparent? You open it up and there was 2 quarters and a nickel taped inside there, and you were like, "I'm rich." Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should get some sort of paywall. Not a paywall. Yeah, I guess a paywall. No, I don't want a paywall. I don't want to keep people out. I still want everyone to have access. But if they choose to support me, then. Maybe I'll come up. Maybe I should just link something to a PayPal address. That's an excellent idea, guys. See, this is why you're here. Send me the email. Ruth Ann, I'll do that. Hold on, guys. Ruth Ann, you're in Twitter. I should be able to send that directly to you, Ruth Ann, I think. Let me pull this up. Give me a second, guys. This is so nice of you. Or just go to Patreon. I mean, if this doesn't work out, I'm not going to turn down Patreon either. I'm happy to do either one. Give me a second here, because somebody who might be offering me a job just sent me something. Oh, okay. I will. So funny. Somebody actually wrote to me and said, I want to refinance my mortgage. So if you're still watching, I will get you in touch with my friend Karen. So let me answer that in a second. Let me go back to where we are here, and I'm going to find you guys on the Twitter. And oh snap, something happened. That's what Twitter says to me sometimes. Do you guys get that message where it says, ah, snap, and then Twitter's just gone for a few minutes? Where am I? Ah, snap, you wanted to watch Kevin Lee? I'm referring to myself in the third person. Guys, slap me. Reach through that machine and hurt me. Because I enjoy it. Shh. Okay, there I am right there. Is everyone's computer slow right now? Mine is super slow, so that should pull up Periscope. There's Periscope. And then I should be able to find you here. Oh, I can just, okay, great, Ruth Ann. I can just send you that email. And I can't go back in the comments. So thank you, Ruth Ann. I will do that. Let's see if I can click that. And give me a second. Sorry for everybody. If you're still watching, this is just the goodbye part of things. I just wanted to make sure I took care of that business before this is essentially the commercials in the broadcast. This is what helps pay for it. Also want to give a shout out to my friend Steve Day. No idea if he's watching, but the lights that make this happen, that's because of Steve Day. The green screen behind me that make everything into this endless void and make the outline of my hands green, that was also from Steve Day, an amazingly generous individual. It's still all his, and he can come have it any time after I touch it extensively. Could have corona, so I should probably hang on to it for a while, Steve. Let me get you Ruth Ann here. And I just don't want to give out my email address. I'm going to set up a separate email address, so thank you guys for reminding me of this, and I'll tie it to my... and if you're a Patreon supporter, you actually get direct access to me. And if you send me money through PayPal, you can email me anytime. I'm happy to converse. I mean, not obviously 30 times a day, unless it's 30 times that are important a day. Okay, Ruth Ann, I've got you there. Somebody else was talking about Venmo, were they? Okay, so I appreciate that, Ruth Ann. I will send you an email just shortly after we're done there. Okay, so that was you, Ruth Ann, with the PayPal or the Venmo. Either one works for me. Thank you, Betty Sue. I appreciate that. And you started all of this, too. So this broadcast is now 48 minutes longer because you asked me, how can we support you? So I do appreciate that. Also working with some other stuff, too. I'm not even going to get into it, but there's possibilities of bigger things to come, and this is all because you guys have supported me. And, oh, please, Amanda, use Cash App. I'm not 14. Neither is anyone else in this room. We're all sophisticated adults. Yes, it was you, Ruth Ann. I see you did both, so I caught that. I probably sound like an idiot a lot of the time because I say something and then 30 seconds later I see a response. So thank you for bearing with me, guys. If you are using Twitter to watch this, it is faster if you use YouTube. We found out the other day that YouTube, if you're watching on that, you get the stream in about 10 seconds. On Twitter, it takes about 20 to 30 seconds. So people on YouTube are able to interact quicker. And on YouTube, they keep telling me to do something called Super Chat, and I think that's another way to generate revenue, which is good. And I also want to... Well, I don't even want to talk about my future plans right now. We'll talk about it later, but the future plan I want you to think about is joining me on Saturday at noon, and we are going to write a parody together. I want to crowdsource a parody, and it's a perfect parody for doing it. It's going to be We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. We're going to do He Didn't Stop the Virus, all about Trump. So start looking at those lyrics, come up with ideas. I will use a whole bunch of different ideas. I've got some already in mind, but I want you guys to contribute as well. And then we'll put that together. I'll do the production on it. And we'll talk about maybe even getting some of you into the video for it, which would be a huge undertaking, but I think we can do it because I haven't been working too much lately. Okay, let's be honest. I never really work too much. Okay, let me just check out the chat room one more time. Okay, Ruth Ann, so worth it. Oh, thank you. Betty Sue, you don't sound crazy? You're not listening. Lizzie, don't talk about cheesecake bread. No food discussion allowed in the room. What is Venmo? Sorry, I'm Canadian. Yeah, Bev, you probably have PayPal up there. But yeah, if you go to Patreon, I know Canadians can use Patreon, or you can, you know what, guys? I will set up an email address that you can use for PayPal or Venmo. Venmo is an app that you can use to transfer, but Venmo is kind of a hassle because the money doesn't actually end up in your bank account. You then have to transfer it somehow. Well, PayPal's the same, but I actually use PayPal. I just stopped using PayPal because politically I remember something like the creator of PayPal. Was it Thiel? Peter Thiel? Am I getting that right, guys? Does anybody remember? I think he was a Trump supporter. That's the trouble is so many of the things I use I can't do because they support Trump. Home Depot. Email transfer app. Yeah, I have a Nigerian bank account that I'll let you guys know. In fact, why don't we do this? Why don't you just put your bank account numbers in the chat room, and then DM me your direct access number, and we will. I don't even know if that's a thing. What's for dinner tonight? Pizza? That's an excellent question, Kathleen. I do have hamburgers I could thaw, and I do have hamburger buns. Okay, so the freezer, we went shopping. We didn't go shopping. We ordered shopping. We picked it up. So then the freezer is not a big freezer, and I was doing a broadcast, so I asked Heavenly Daughter if she could put things away in the freezer. Well, she opened the freezer, and she started putting things in, and then things started falling out, because it's icy in there. So she decided she was going to rearrange the freezer, which is great. That's productive. She took out my hamburger buns and my hot dog buns that I'd put in there because I didn't want them, because I don't eat hamburgers or hot dogs that often. I mean, nobody should, right? But she took them out and put them on the counter. So now they're thawed. Now they're in the fridge. Not that there's a lot of room in the fridge. Which is great. I'm in good shape. I'm incredibly lucky right now to have. And I bought a lot of stuff knowing that the supply chains are being cut down. And so I bought some frozen hamburgers. I bought some ribs. I bought some chicken, knowing that things are getting much pricier. You've probably seen the news the last couple of days. Fruits and vegetables are up by 2%. Meat is up by 5%, depending on where you are. And I've had to go into stores a couple of times to get stuff I couldn't order otherwise. And some of the meat sections there's a couple of chicken, but the beef is missing, etc., etc. So, yeah, Rich, you won the Nigerian lottery, and the prize is sponsoring the Billy Joel. By the way, if you guys are Billy Joel fans at all, join us later tonight. I will be doing a broadcast. We have a round of voting going on right now. Let's see what those are. And what was it? Oh, yeah, this is about kids. Yeah, Twitter's way delayed. This was about 2 minutes ago. I've got the Twitter feed up there. So YouTube is the better place to watch this, but you guys watch however you want to watch. Daniel, I'll get to your birthday comment in a second because I don't have time to read it right now. Let's go to, if you go to Billy Joel Madness on Twitter. I don't even know what we're looking at right here. There we go. Yeah, we're still there. So let's go to Billy Joel Madness. Billy Joel Madness. And the vote today is coming up. It's round 2, so Don't Ask Me Why is ahead 71% to 29% to She's Right on Time. Honestly, guys, you don't really have to go vote there because Don't Ask Me Why should win this pretty handily. That was a hit. And She's Right on Time, not so much, but She's Right on Time is a classic. So if you're a fan of She's Right on Time, get over there and vote to help it go up. Peter Thiel, yes, was donating money to Trump's campaign for 2020. Thank you, fact checker Rich Mack. And Amanda Juliet says, crazy how I've lived without meat for years and I'm still alone. That's not crazy at all. Oh, alive. Yeah. Vegans. Okay, Daniel Hall said, Trump birthday, June 14th. Be sure to tweet him, Obama was a better greeting. Typically, that's what I do. So remind us later as we get closer, Daniel Hall. Good to see you. Bev, wahahahahaha. I do terrible chat ratings. I'm sure you meant it in a wonderful way, Bev. I know you do. Okay, so I've got an email to send out to Ruth. And what is going on down here? Oh, this is last night's broadcast. You guys can't see this, but I had some wonderful elf hair going on the side right here. So you're welcome to check that out because, what the hell else do you have to do? Say yes, let's talk soon. Have a wonderful night. I get it. I'm signing off, and we will see you guys later if you want to tune in for the Billy Joel broadcast. Oh, let me tell you what time. 5 hours left, so in about 5 hours, we might actually do the broadcast before that because that's a ways from now. It's now 3:50, so that's 4, so 9 o'clock p.m. No, that's midnight Eastern time. That's too late. So we tend to go later and later with the broadcast. We'll try and broadcast before that, and before the voting is done, we'll just start the next voting because honestly, Don't Ask Me Why against She's Right on Time. Not too exciting. Don't ask me why. But we've got some serious matchups coming up. I'm not going to tell you about them. You can go look at the bracket. Hold on. I'll post the bracket for you. That's the last thing I'm going to do. I promise. And share via link. Copy. Wait, Bev, you're going to send me money too? I'm happy to send you my email. Hold on. I'm going to set up a thing. Bev, I'll tell you what, unless you want to put your email here, I don't want you to have to do... Oh, here's the thing. Send an email to kevinleefather@gmail.com. I do get those. I set that up a long time ago, so that's perfect. If you want to donate via email, send me an email there. Do not contribute there because that's not tied to PayPal. But if you send me email there, I will send you my PayPal email address. In fact, I'll probably link that to an email. kevinleefather@gmail.com. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Bev, I am sending you an email directly, though. Ruth, I'm sorry. I'll send you an email directly. Bev, shoot me an email at kevinleefather@gmail.com. And Amanda Juliet is going to end things with Here Comes the Sun should win the Billy Joel Madness. Write it in. If you want to sponsor, you got to run that by Rich Mack because he's the sponsor and he makes the rules. Nothing I can do about that, Amanda Juliet. Vienna should win, Amanda Juliet. That's actually a Billy Joel song. So, yeah, it may. It did, got out of the first round, so it's second round action now. Speaking of action, I'm going to go. Bye, guys.